Hey there, it's Mike McAllowitz, the author of Profit First and the co-host of GMAP, Grow My Accounting Practice. We're doing the best of right now, and I think you're going to love this one. A while back, we talked with Amy Vetter, the Global Vice President of Education and the Head of Accounting for the USA at Xero. And Amy shared what's going on with cloud accounting and some of the challenges that it takes to cut over to cloud accounting from the system you're on now. All the advantages, disadvantages, all that stuff. Well, strap on that seatbelt, grab your pen and paper, and get ready to take lots of notes as we dig into episode 123.
Today, right here, right now, this is the moment that you will finally say,
I'm growing my accounting practice. And you're going to discover exactly how right here, right now, on the Grow My Accounting Practice podcast, episode
57.
Yes! Welcome to the show, everyone. We're happy to have you here on GMAP. My name is Chris Curran. I'm the founder of Fractal Recording.
And I'm Mike McAllowitz, the author of Profit First and the newly released book, Surge. You better have a copy of that in your pocket.
Surge!
I'm joined here in studio by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And may the profit be with you.
And you, great listener of the interweb podcasting system, Galactica. I don't know. I was trying to go
You're so bad at sci-fi and regular movies.
I know. I'm as horrible at any movie reference. You are listening to GMAP. That stands for Grow My Accounting Practice. This is the podcast that we've dedicated to you, accountants and bookkeepers, who are looking to grow your practice. We give you the step-by-step on how to do it, and we give you the GMAP Now task. This is a specific task that if you do it at the end of this episode, you will grow your accounting practice, and it's the only show, we believe, on the entire web that has the Psychology of Sale, hosted by himself, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
In the universe, I think.
Perhaps in the universe.
Totally, yeah. So we interview a great guest. We have a great guest today. And then we all give our takeaways on what we learned from our guest as well. You can find our show anywhere you hear a podcast. So iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, anywhere, any app, you can find this show, GMAP, and also the website. That's the important thing. ProfitFirstProfessionals.com. Not only does it have every episode we've ever done, but it has so many resources for your practice, your bookkeeping practice, your accounting practice, all right there on the website. So ProfitFirstProfessionals.com.
And here's the deal. We're going to be talking to, in a little bit, a pretty... But name you'll recognize. Let me say famous bassist. And no, I'm not talking, it's a female. I'm not talking about, remember that band White Zombie? I'm not talking about Sean, I think her last name was Zolt or something. Not talking about her. She's even more famous than the White Zombie band. But before we do, and she's going to share what the future is looking like, not just in the music industry, but in cloud accounting.
And makeup.
Cloud accounting. And makeup. Oh, cool. And crazy having makeup. And femme fatale type of tire. Like that, all that thing's going to come together. But first, I want to thank our corporate partners who make this show possible.
Sure.
Fundbox, Nextiva, Fundera, and Receipt Bank. They've all been stalwart sponsors of ours. They've been with this show since day one. We'll give you more details on them in a little bit. And Xero has stepped up. They're sponsoring a few episodes in promotion of their cool event.
Xero Calm.
Xero Calm, yeah. And that's what brings me to our guest. If you haven't guessed, it's Amy Vetter, by the way, Ron.
Oh, I know.
Amy Vetter. She is a CPA.
You totally gave it away.
I did.
The bass player.
The bass.
We all know that.
And the
It's
White
common knowledge.
Zombie. Yeah,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Didn't for Talking Heads, it was a female bassist too. Tina Weymouth, I think, if my Google serves me correctly. And Kim Deal from the Pixies. I can rattle them all off.
Wow.
Yes.
I've never had such a good intro in my life.
This
as
is
an
vital
accountant,
information for accountants.
This is vital information.
Yes.
Well, we like to get personal with our guests because Xero has been an important factor in our life. Not
Our
just,
business.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We've been using Xero in-house now. We're entering our second year. It's been a significant step forward from the prior system that we were using. And one of the significant benefits is that it's a cloud-based system. Well, Amy is the Global Vice President of Education and Head of Accounting at Xero USA. And if there's anyone suited to talk about the future of accounting on the web and specifically Xero, it's Amy. So Amy, now officially welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
I wish I could play the bass lick with you coming in.
Right?
Oh, just a real funny comment about bass licks, just to digress. Just one more time. One more time. When I do speaking engagements, on the rider, it specifies what song do you want played when you do a song. And on mine, it's Jukebox Hero by Foreigner, right?
Wow.
Which is a big bass lick in the beginning, the bum, bum, bow. I'm at an event, they played no music, and there's 1,000 people silent. And then when I came up, I guess they assumed the rider insisted I have music. It shocked the living hell out of everyone in the audience. Wow. So
It's great when they play that music and there's 6 people there.
I know. That's the most embarrassing thing. So, Amy, what does the future of cloud accounting look like?
Well, the future, I think, for so long, the discussion was, will I go? How do I go? I think cloud technology has happened. So we're in it. We're in the future. And, it will continue to expand and we'll be innovating. But I think the most important thing is people are utilizing it now and understanding the benefits of it. So, to me, the future is where we've been trying to get to for so long, and desktop software was hard because it was still so much manual work that had to be done within the software. But now, with tools like Xero and being online, it really creates a lot of efficiencies where you don't have a lot of that manual data entry, and you can really move into the advisory services that our clients have wanted us to do for so long. When I was in practice, I was part of this group for a large CPA firm where they brought in people to help work with the managing partners on, the future and how to put marketing programs in and so forth. And, when I was at that session, the marketing consultant was talking about, just the marketing programs you need to put in and so forth. And they were really getting a lot of pushback by a lot of the managing partners that were there. And the IT consultant that worked with CPA firms at the time, helping them hook up servers and so forth, raised his hand. And he said to all of them, I just don't understand you. I try to pay you money and you don't return my call. And I think that is the future, is now we can return those calls. We can build in that time to really help small businesses thrive. Because, the data entry, if a lot of that can be more efficient and automated, it gives us the time to actually analyze the work and be able to help those small businesses, really be cash flow positive and help them with those business decisions they need on a real-time basis.
And I was talking with leaders of all different companies. I actually spoke with Russ from Xero, spoke with folks from other accounting-based systems, names you recognize, names you wouldn't even recognize. A lot of people are talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and that these systems, as things go on, can do exactly what you said, scanning in documents, converting them, reconciling, connecting automatically. Do you think in a future point, the traditional roles and responsibilities of a bookkeeper or a tax account, for example, does that stuff go away? And if so, what do they need to do if that's the truth or the potential reality?
Yeah, I don't think anything goes away. I think it's that we start working differently, and that's the change. If we try to hold on to the way we've always worked, that's when things are going to pass you by. So you can't hold on to the past, and you have to really always be thinking about, in your practice, how do I plan for the future and what are the trends, and never get, too complacent that things are always going to be the same, and that referrals are always going to come in from the people that know you, because the world is changing, and it's, borders are breaking down. There are no geographical boundaries with clients or staff, and that's really what makes a difference. But the role itself will change into, where there's always the need for accounting entry and validation and verification and all of those types of roles. But what the systems will help you do is speed up that work, where even if it was in the hands of a small business owner, they're not accounting experts. And so they don't want to spend their time making sure the numbers are in there correctly and so forth. So, tools like Xero, we're trying to build in things that will help validate the, data entry that's being put in to speed up those engagements. And what that does is help the accountant to be able to move to this value price billing that has been such a struggle to move to all these years because the data entry's been, too intense. But when you can actually take on more clients but be billing the same amount and be giving the small business owner a amount that they can budget for each month, it actually only benefits both sides. Instead of them getting surprise bills and you being limited on the number of clients you take, I always thought about, my accounting practice when I had it that, what makes it so hard is, you have to be awake to generate money.
Right.
And so, for, businesses that can be on the web and be selling services and so forth when they're sleeping, that is a big deal. And this is really changing the accounting industry to make money while you're sleeping. It's the value of the answer that you're providing to that client, not the time that it takes.
Now, you said that the uptake of cloud accounting, and I'm paraphrasing, but you said it's basically the utilization's increasing. Do you have any sense of the businesses out there that use accounting systems, what percentage or how many are cloud-based versus still on the desktop or maybe using still the shoebox?
I actually don't have that data.
Okay, yeah, I should have actually given you a warning. I'll ask you that statistic. But what's your gut say? Is it still the minority that are on the cloud, or are the majority of people on the cloud?
I would say everybody is using the cloud in some way, whether it's their email or social, or trying it with online accounting software or something that integrates with that you need for your business. So everybody is using mobile, and when you look at the generational shift, the workforce has changed to be, the majority being in the millennial generation. This is how they've grown up. And so, the majority of people are always, on with their phone, with their tablets. And so moving into an online accounting software isn't the same issues as, when I started talking about this years and years ago, when everybody was so afraid of security issues and so forth. I think people have the understanding that, with online accounting, you actually have more security than you've ever had in the past because, the cost of backing up systems and securing systems and having the proper audits and so forth is a lot for a small practice versus cloud accounting companies are doing this all day long, 24 hours a day, making sure things are secure. So, those issues are not the issues anymore because people are used to, or not only used to it, but demand wanting to have access to things wherever they are.
Right. Amy, what do you see as the biggest obstacle of making the move to the cloud? I mean, we did it several years ago. Why aren't people doing it?
It's time. I think, just investing that time and making that change is really tough. We're all already busy. And so you really have to look at the investment in time that you have to make. It's not necessarily money. It's, it takes planning. It takes putting a business plan together. You mentioned Xero Calm. One of our pre-conference sessions is called Xero Accelerate, and it's where we help accounting practices put together that business plan, the change management that they need to do behind the scenes in order to be able to make the shift. And, I think people's expectation is, it should happen quickly. It doesn't happen quickly. I mean, typically, speaking to our customers and even our most successful customers that were early adopters, it takes easily 12 to 18 months to make a full conversion if you are steadily working toward a plan and have milestones that you're trying to achieve along the way. And what that also means is you can't be working on clients at the same time that you're trying to develop a new infrastructure or a new service line or whatever you're planning to do. It's not taking what you have today and duplicating it. It's taking what you have today and enhancing it for the future.
And what type of fear have you seen? Is that a major component?
Yeah, what I find really interesting, and it's taken me a while to kind of put it together, and it really had an epiphany this year. So, for a long time, what I was hearing was, I'm not sure which technology, to put together and how I do that and so forth. And then, what we're trying to, help people get to is to be able to up-level their services and be able to create these advisory services with small businesses. Because, our goal at Xero is to help small businesses thrive. That is a major component of what we do. And when I would talk to accountants individually, what I was hearing wasn't really about the technology, it was about the advisory skills. So for so long, we have been, heads down and trying to just keep up with all the work. And going back to that story, with the IT consultant, we didn't answer his phone calls because we didn't have the time, nor were we sure what he was going to ask, and we didn't have time to figure out that answer. So now we have this technology that will drive the answers to us. And even if the client had that technology, they wouldn't know what to do with it. Like, even if it spits out an answer, it doesn't tell them anything because they're not a financial expert. But for us on the financial side, if we haven't been learning that skill all the time, and all of our CPE's been in tax or audit and so forth, then we actually haven't learned those advisory skills that we need once we get that answer. And so I think the gap truly is learning how to be an advisor right now, and how to transform from being in compliance to being that strategic advisor in the business, and the types of questions you'll be asked, and being able to say, what, I don't know that answer right now, but I'll go back and research it for you and get back to you. And that's all the client truly expects. They don't think, you are a computer. They're trying to talk to you because you're a person, and, having the room as you're learning to say, look, I need some time to research that and get back to you, and then utilizing these tools and figuring out the answers rather than having to calculate it all on spreadsheets and the things of the past, all that manual work you had to do. You can get the answers faster, come up with those assessments, and be able to really help those small businesses. But to me, that seems to be one of the bigger gaps right now, that and time.
We have 2,000 accountants, bookkeepers are going to listen to this episode probably on the first day, Ron. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, we get a lot of this show's pretty popular, and a lot of people listen. I think one of the common questions is going to be, how do I, as an accountant or bookkeeper, help my client move to the cloud? Do you have any tips around that?
Yeah, so I would demonstrate to them what their life would look like. So, with cloud accounting tools like Xero, we have dashboards. And typically, in days past, a manual type thing for a small business owner, I know when I would go in as a part-time controller or consultant for small businesses, is a small business owner typically wants to see a daily snapshot of their business. What cash needs to be collected, what do I need to be paid, how am I doing, all those types of things. Well, they've never at their fingertips been able to bring up a website and see that kind of dashboard. And that really is that daily snapshot of their business. And the most important thing about it is that you are collaborating on what we call as a single ledger. And the reason we call it that is because you're sharing it with the client. And prior to that, they've never experienced that. So when, a lot of times they pull up their desktop accounting software and it's garbage in, garbage out, because the people that have been doing it haven't necessarily been coding it correctly. But when you're working as strategic partners in their business, when you're able to validate that data on a real-time basis, the numbers that are coming up for them are really important. And you start changing the discussion on what types of things that they can use to evaluate their business on a day-to-day basis. So I think it's the visual and really understanding their pain points of what they're trying to accomplish. Do they need to send a receipt right at the time that if they're going out and doing field work, right at that time? How does that integrate back into their accounting software so that they don't have to do that work at night? And when you start really understanding their pain points and asking questions so that you can identify what is really bothering them today, what's taking up most of their time, how much duplicate entry is going on. And when you can come back and say, well, if you're coming on to this solution, it's actually going to save you 2 hours a day because you're not going to have to do all this manual work. It's happening real time. Plus, we're going to be able to meet and have really good strategic discussions because I'm able to stay on board anytime and make sure things are updated.
I think the advantages of the cloud are pretty obvious. I want to know if there's any disadvantages. Is there any downside? And by the way, if there is some, I want to know how to address them. Yeah.
No.
You're like, no, it's perfect.
No.
Just like I told my last boyfriend.
It's just in other softwares there may be, but not ours.
I do. So that's a good question. And I would say, the disadvantage is that cloud accounting software is newer. So, the software that's desktop software has been being developed for 10, 20, 30 years, however long that they've been using it, right? And so over that time, you had developers that were constantly enhancing it, putting more functionality and so forth. The problem with that software was, it's a one-size-fits-all. So when you needed to customize a solution, for a specific industry, let's say it's construction, for example, then, you may need other add-on software to do that. Well, in the desktop world, if you started adding, 2, 3 different integrations into the desktop software, it blew up. So, so it is a big difference because what's happening with cloud accounting, and I can speak for Xero, obviously, is that we keep the general ledger pure. So we're not trying to put all functionality into the GL. We want you to build your own solution to customize to your industry. So we have an ecosystem that we have strong partnerships with, whether it be banks, whether it be add-on solutions, whether it be industry-specific solutions, that you can customize how you work your business, how you interact, how the client is dealing in their business, where they may never be in Xero. They may only be using the add-on, if they're using Shopify or Square or something for a retail business, and the accountant is really on the back end with the integration of what it's coming through to the software. But I think that's a really big difference for people, is that you're not going to find a one-size-fits-all, nor would you really want that to be anymore. But it is a shift in thinking for people that have been using software for a long time. For millennials, it's what they're used to. They're used to app stores. They're used to using a lot of different technology and so forth. So it's really the future of how technology is being developed, so that the people that are experts in, let's use retail as an example, they're heavily working on retail solutions so that those are always up to date. You've got the best features and so forth. And then Xero on the back end is always up to date on the best accounting functionality on the back end. So everybody's really in their wheelhouse.
Can you share any juicy stuff of what's coming down the pike from Xero in your software?
Well, we have Xero Calm coming up, so I don't want to give anything away.
Damn it! I was trying to pull it out of you. Are you going to reveal some juicy stuff there?
Yes. So at Xero Calm will be our product announcements. So if you want to get first dibs on those announcements, you'll be in attendance.
Okay, and then why don't you give me a few details on Xero Con, the event itself? What's it all about? Who's going to be there? Why should people attend?
Yeah, so if you've never been to Xero Calm before, it's definitely a different kind of accounting and bookkeeper conference. We are so focused on educating our customers and really helping change their business. And it's not just product skills, but it's the soft skills as well. And so just in our pre-conferences alone, we've got a day-long, like I said, Accelerate, which is about business planning. We have a day-long champion workshop that teaches people in your practice that implement how to implement. We're also launching, which I'm very excited about, is a sales workshop for accountants, teaching accountants how to sell.
Nice.
So we're
There
calling
you
it
go.
the art of the sale. And we will be giving all those skills that you need in questioning and discovery and then putting together a demo and proposal and so forth. And then we've got another workshop of how to specialize in an industry niche so that you can hear from accountants and their clients in each hour in different industries, what tools they put together, why it's working for them, and so forth. So our pre-conference day, and then we're also doing certification for those people that want to get certified. And then during the conference, we have multiple tracks going on, product tracks, of course, firm management tracks, practice management tracks. But then we also have a track that is near and dear to my heart called Xero Unplugged. And that track is really a TED-style track. And every hour we have a different topic. And we've got 3 speakers for each of those topics giving their take and viewpoint on that topic. So that's a really fun one to come and see, and you get a lot out of it. Great keynotes as well. We've got international keynotes. We also have Rod Drury, our CEO, and Andy Lark, our Chief Marketing and Business Officer, and of course Russ speaking. I have a keynote. And then another thing that we're doing this year it's a special sign up, but it's a topic that's really important to me that I have a lot of passion about, and it's about really helping women to get into leadership positions in the accounting profession. So we are having a breakfast and a panel of speakers of women that are leaders in the accounting profession but have done a lot of research in this area that are going to talk about their different viewpoints on this and how we can help other women get into leadership positions, but also yourself, what to look for in an employer and benefit programs you can put in if it's your practice too. So really fun things. Plus, we always have a great party.
Yeah, then that's the best part for me. I love that
Awesome.
part.
In the sales presentation, are you going to be teaching how to use the Force like Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year, we should have the psychology of the sale presentation.
Oh,
for
yeah. I love that stuff.
You have Yoda
Amy, it was
float around.
Amy, it was a pleasure having you on. Just real quick before you go, where can people sign up for XeroCon?
Yeah, if you go to Xero.com, and I think it's /XeroCon, you will find it there, and or just search on Google for XeroCon San Francisco. But we're very happy to have all of you there joining, and hope to see some of your listeners as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Good. All right. Thanks for coming on the show, Amy.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All
Amy.
right, we're real quick. We're going to recap some of the stuff we learned. I got a nice page full of notes per usual, and we're going to do psychology sale plus the GMAP Now task. But first, I want to thank our corporate partners. I love when you punch me like that.
Ooh.
Here's what we got: Fundera, Fundbox, Nextiva, and Receipt Bank. And today I want to give a shout out to Fundbox. Dave Tolkien's our boy over there.
Talking to him the other day.
Yep. I know. You and Dave have really actually hit it off. And Dave's hit it off with a lot of our members, helping them get financing.
Helping not them, but helping their customers.
Their customers,
yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Right. So if you have a client who has a funding issue, cash flow issue, they can't get money, collect money quickly enough, but they've invoiced it, Fundbox will release the funds to you in its entirety to your client. Or maybe, wouldn't that be great? They release the funds to you, the accountant. Your client has $100,000 due to them, and you, the accountant, gets the $100,000. You're like, oh, just enjoy it. They release the funds in its entirety.
I use them every day.
Yeah, and then when the money is paid back by the client, your client will then refund or pay back Fundbox for making that loan plus their service fee. Fundbox is an extraordinary way of doing invoice financing in the 21st century.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Nice. All about the flow, Joe.
Yeah. Hey, before we go into the psychology of sale, I want to know, Chris, what did you learn from today's interview?
Well, I like what she said about that you have to demonstrate what your client's life will look like when they're using, the cloud technology or whatever. And I think that goes to anything in life. So I learned that if you try to think of something but you don't have a picture for it in your mind, like picture the fence in my backyard right now. You can't. You're confused. You've never seen it. You don't know what it is. So there's confusion in your mind. But if I was to show you a picture of it and say, think of my fence, you would think of it because you have a picture. So when you paint the picture for the prospect or the client, I hope I'm not stepping on the psychology of the sale tip for today.
Yeah.
No.
We're getting close,
but
though.
you're close. Very close.
Anyway, when you paint the picture, it makes it clear in the person's mind, and then they get it. That's it.
I like that.
I like it.
And I want to take it a step further. When you did say picture a fence in my yard, I defaulted to one. I bet you, Ron, you did too. And it probably wasn't the right one. I had a picture of a stack of beer cans in Chris's yard that he uses as a fence, right? And it's probably not what he wanted me to see.
Yeah, I had the visions of like those shanty roofs in like Rio, and just them going all over, and
just probably not what he wanted us to see.
No.
He had the opportunity.
I've actually seen it. It is nice. I've seen his pictures of the wildlife and everything. Like that.
Yeah, the deer and the buffalo and the rattlesnakes.
Right.
Ron,
all right.
What'd you learn?
So it's not what I learned. It reconfirmed what I already was thinking. And that's if you're still deciding on whether or not you should be using a Xero or another cloud-based technology, well, then you're being passed by. And technology isn't just passing you by. Your competition is passing you by.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah.
I felt the lightsaber on that one. For me, it was the concept of finally call your client back. There was a time you call your accountant, and maybe it still happens, and your accountant doesn't call you back. How frustrating it was. I get it. They were plugging numbers away. They didn't have time to call you back. Now we've gotten to the email me. Like, you're not emailing people back.
Yeah.
Because you're doing your stuff. You don't have time for it. It avails the time to communicate with the client. And if you communicate with the client, you build stronger rapport and a better client. So you need the technology to do the kind of the hard labor part, if you will, the number crunching, so you can do the important part, which is manage the client relationship. All right. You know what it's time for.
That's right. The psychology of the sale with the resident.
One and only. The president extraordinary.
Where's my stinger?
Oh, no.
I
couldn't think of the word Jedi. With our resident Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wow.
All right.
There it is.
Hey, great. Thanks for the introduction.
Well, watch out for Amy. You almost hit Amy.
Oh, sorry, Amy. So I was talking to Yoda the other day, and I was like, Yod, we've just done 56 psychology of the sales. I mean, can you help me out? I got to bring it.
Yeah.
We have
Cut
Amy
me,
back.
Mookie.
We've got to bring it. And Yod was like, dude, have you talked about the narrative transportation theory yet?
Of course.
Of
course.
Oh, man. No, I haven't.
Yes.
So basically, this is the narrative transportation theory proposes that when people lose themselves in a story, their attitudes and intentions change to reflect that story.
Interesting.
So here's the thing. And it doesn't have to be a War and Peace document or Atlas Shrugged or anything like that. It can be a small little story or even a longer article. Well, I was reading such an article in one of the trade magazines, and what was really neat, it was a story. It was about a struggling business owner, and it detailed the ups and downs. And I found myself being totally immersed in this article, and because I could totally relate to it.
Yeah.
And then at the end, there was 5 specific tasks to take to implement a solution. Okay. And here's the logic of the narrative transportation theory. When this occurs, when the story receiver experiences a feeling of entering a world invoked by the narrative because of empathy for the story characters and the imagination of the story plot. Okay. So here, Ron, Obi, how do we do that?
Yeah, this heavy-duty stuff.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
I'm not a Jedi. Help me out.
Yoda said it might be a little heady. Okay. So here's what you can do, and it's called creating a parabel.
There you go.
Right?
Yes.
This is a short little story. You can relate to the reader some of the successes or one of the obstacles or several obstacles that your clients have been facing and tell it in a story way and then provide solutions to this. And the bottom line is people love reading stories. They want to also hear how you helped somebody else in the same position. Okay? So a couple of great examples of books out there of storytelling.
Yeah.
Bob Berg. Okay, Patrick Lencioni.
Oh yeah, so Bob Berg's Go Giver. Patrick Lencioni's The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and blah blah blah. Yep.
And these are stories, and I know it's probably getting out of most of our audience's comfort zone, but that's what we're all here about growing your accounting practice. And a lot of people have been collaborating, writing books together.
Yeah.
So, maybe you want to collaborate with other accounting professionals and share storytelling and come up with your own book or large article.
Yeah, or it could be a very short story, just like almost like a testimonial saying, "Hey, we had a client that experienced so and so, and let me tell you about Jimmy's story." And you give 3 or 4 sentences, but now we're looking at them from the outside. It's a lot more comfortable.
Right.
Great. Yeah.
Right.
And if you want to write a book, go for it. I think it's the best thing you can do. It's a lot of hard work, though. I think. I've heard. I heard it's a lot of hard work.
We had a guest on. She said she writes a book like in a couple of months, like a month.
Oh, God, that still obsesses me because it takes me so long.
Right.
GMAP Now task.
Oh, GMAP.
GMAP Now. GMAP Now task. Oh,
here we
pull out the razor blade, Mookie!
What are we going to do today?
Cut me, Mookie! Cut me, Mookie! Dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. GMAP Now. So this is the Grow My Accounting Practice Now task. This is the one task. If you do this today, massive impact on your business. All right, it's time to get in the cloud. I'm going to give you a little shortcut. You got to get your clients on the cloud. The way to get them there is by you doing it first. If there's any lesson we teach at Profit First, right, as we bring a new Profit First professional on board, we mandate, direct them, support them in implementing Profit First in their own business.
Yeah, walk the talk.
Yep, walk it, and then you can talk it. If it's Xero, or maybe some other accounting, cloud-based, not accounting, but cloud-based, any kind of system.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just CRM or something like that. Get it for yourself. Live it. There's no better mastery than in doing it. So that's the GMAP Now task. Pick your cloud platform you're going to commit to, your CRM, your accounting system, and get it for yourself. That's the game changer.
Boom.
Oh, that's a big one. Mookie. Oh, there it is.
All right, well, there's your GMAP Now task. Literally, each week, if you do the GMAP Now task, it's just shocking what it can do for your business. You know what else you can do? You can go to ProfitFirstProfessionals.com and check out all our previous episodes. That's where they are. And you can also give us a rating and review on iTunes or wherever you listen to this podcast, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Google Play. There you have it. So that's what you can do. We really appreciate you listening. And guess what? You can comment on this post. If you have questions for Amy or Mike or Obi-Ron, go ahead to this post, ProfitFirstProfessionals.com. Find this post. It's episode 57 of GMAP. And comment. Tell your story. Tell your experience. Ask a question. This is a great place to get the attention of Mike and Obi-Ron and the guests. And It's kind of like free consulting in a way.
Yeah, and hit me up directly. This is Obi Ron, and we just got some new Profit First shirts in.
Yes.
So to the first 5 people that say, "Hey, Obi, get me a shirt," boom,
Oh.
I'll have it there. For you.
Oh, what? Wait a minute.
You don't count, Chris.
I know.
Yeah. Well, you did. You did. When you come out to Profit Con, the perfect complement to Xero Con is Profit Con. When you come out to Profit Con, Chris, you'll be getting a T-shirt.
I'll give you 2.
I'll give you
love
2.
That's awesome.
One for your wife. One for you. One for your wife.
Oh, I love that. So we really appreciate you listening today. And Mike, Profit First Professionals, give the quick overview, could you?
Yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. I wrote a book, Profit First. Entrepreneurs are reading it left and right. Penguin Books calls me and says, we want to acquire the rights to Profit First because it's becoming so popular, and we want to get this out on an international level. So they're
Nice.
translating to like 6-7 languages already committed. Russian, Spanish, all stuff. Here's the deal. These entrepreneurs need assistance in implementing Profit First. They want to improve their profitability. They need an accountant or bookkeeper that can do it.
An advisor.
Yes, an advisor. So how do you become an advisor? Now, here's the beautiful thing about Profit First. It is software agnostic. You can use Xero and use Profit First. If you have a different accounting... We do, right? We do. If you have another accounting platform, it works with that.
We had.
If you work with a mix of accounting platforms, Profit First works. If you are a bookkeeper or accountant, now is the time. Amy was telling you, software is getting more sophisticated. The basic work, the data entry is going away. You must become an advisor. Her words. How do you do it? We'll tell you by being a Profit Advisor. Go to ProfitFirstProfessionals.com, click on the Become button, fill out the quick form there. You'll connect with Obi Ron or myself, and we'll guide you through how to become a Profit First professional and provide consulting to your clients. Oh, and one more thing. Come to our event, Profit Con 2016.
Yeah.
There's 2 events to go to this year. It's Xero Con in
August.
August 15th, and then Profit Con in late September, right going into October. Plus, we're having a picnic at Obi Ron's house. You can see all of his Jedi collection stuff.
Wow.
And you'll learn how to be a profit advisor. So at Xero, you're going to master cloud accounting. Then you're going to become a profit advisor at Profit Con. Boom, you're done. You're set for the year. 2017 is going to be your best year ever because of it.
That's right. Even Amy, in the answer to her question, in the answer to one question, she said there's one of the gaps in the accounting space now is this idea of becoming more consultative. And that's what Profit First Professionals helps you with. So check it out, ProfitFirstProfessionals.com. Thank you to Amy Vetter. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Obi Ron. And of course, everyone in the background, Christina and the Hawaiian Lumberjack and all the rookies. We really appreciate you listening.
Oh, rookies.
We'll see you next time.
See you.